Alright, how are we doing on this, I was going to say fine Friday, but it's a bit warm. I've just been notified by my phone that there's a risk of a thunderstorm, which would be amazing. Got the Old World and Chaos 12 previews out of the way just in time to fix my list. I know, considerate of them, and by considerate I mean inconsiderate, because they should have waited until I was done streaming, and then I could have ordered things better. But, I'm not going to do fix my list and stream until midnight here. There's a limit to the amount of time that I can work in a day, unfortunately. Hello, Chalu, how you doing? Himox here as well. Good to have you. Got a load of lists. It's been good, you know. It was nice to see the lists that we've got. Got some good variety in there. It's nice to see that people are still putting stuff together, which also means that there are some easy fixes for some of the lists. But it's just nice to have things to talk about that aren't just here's the same list 12 times. Got some more faces here. Tafster and Mascadon as well. Good to have you. Good to have you. How has everyone's week been? Been busy? I have been busy because I obviously, well, not obviously, so I booked some time off in terms of my coaching schedule because with the 1.5 FAQ league, I knew that I was going to be busier than normal, so I had about a week and a half that I couldn't book sessions in. And then my brother's wedding is next week, so I'm travelling and I've had to book off 5 days to actually cover that as well. Which means that this week I've been doing 2 to 3 coaching sessions every day, alongside whatever else I've been doing. So it's a nice problem to have, but it has been pretty busy here. Striper says muggy. Yeah, absolutely. I'm not pleased about the moisture content in the air. It's not ideal. I think it might be a little bit of a quieter one this evening because obviously loads of leaks, or not leaks, loads of reveals have come out. I will be talking about the reveals. If you're just tuning in now, or if you tune in and you watch the VOD back, as of probably Saturday lunchtime, I should probably have something up about the reveals, my thoughts, and any speculations or anything I know about them. I haven't even actually had a chance to look. I've just been seeing loads of messages flowing in various different channels that I'm in, so it'll be interesting to see which of the things that people thought might be coming actually are coming. If you haven't already, I would appreciate a like on the video. Helps me get picked up by the algorithm, which has definitely helped. You know, definitely needed on days like this. God, the heat's already getting to me. You know, when we've got a slower start, it's always good to get picked up early, thanks to the YouTube gods. A Slayer Arcane Army of Infamy. Hell yeah. Hey, has a flavour. Tomb King's getting more tools sounds scary to deal with, but I love seeing constant new releases. It's great. I was talking, I think it was yesterday in one of my coaching sessions, and Tomb Kings, I think I'm coming to feel like Tomb Kings might be a little bit overrated. They're still like a top 3 army in the game, don't get me wrong, but because they've got so many different ways they can go, people think of Tomb Kings as if they can do all of those things at once, as in, you know, the big infantry lists, the really oppressive shooting from Ushabti, the monsters as well. You kind of got to pick a lane and go with it. So, new Tomb King box, just newer kits for all their already existing characters. I think those characters are pretty out of date, and some of them don't actually exist at current. If we're talking about the picture I saw. Yeah, Battle One's up today, yeah. I'm not even sure they sell some of them. Like Ed was saying that the priest on horse isn't a kit that exists. But, well, let's get into it, because the sooner I look through these lists and go through them, the sooner I can start looking at the actual changes that we've got. The new rules would have been cool to get Plastic Ushabti, yeah. I mean, I've said this a few times, I'm not sure if I've said this on stream, but my sort of thought process or approach for Old World is that I'm going to get everything that I want, but it might just take 10 years. So we'll get there. We'll get there. Everything that we need, we'll get there. And Hopefully they don't do things that look too modern in line with some of the other, you know, like the Age of Sigmar sculpting designs that they go for. I do like the old, more grounded in reality sculpts that they've got for Old World. And the price. I prefer the price of the Old World stuff. Alright, let's get into it. So, let's start off with some faces that I've seen that were here. And there was, first of all, Chelu's Dark Elf Renegades. So what I will do, actually, is I'll just have a quick check. Unfortunately, normally I'm able to put some notes next to them, but not this time. Okay, I don't think there are any notes for this one. Lovely, so this is Dark Elf Renegades, and there's definitely stuff that I like in here, and there's stuff that I'd tweak, which is a theme, I think, for this week. There's a lot of stuff that I look at and go, oh, yeah, no, that's good. I like how you've done that. And then there's other stuff that I go, maybe not. So, starting off with the good, Supreme Sorceress here. 2 Power Scrolls, 3 Focus Familiar, Elementalism. Hell yeah, Lore Familiar. This is great. This just means that you can cast the spells that you want very consistently, and I like that. That's a very efficient use of points. You've spent all 100 points. Fantastic. Love it. Dreadlord, this is pretty standard. This is just a good loadout for like a baseline general. It's an elf on a dragon with a great weapon, so it's got a 4-up armor save in combat, and you've got the Pendant of Kaleth, so you've got a 4-up ward save against strength 5 or higher, and just a normal one. So, good stuff there. Then we've got the High Beastmaster, and I don't love the High Beastmaster. So you've got Talisman of Protection, Obsidian Lodestone, and I do like Magic Resist, but I don't love Magic Resist 1. And we've got some points available here. You've got Cavalry Spear, Heavy Armor, Shield, but you haven't gone Sea Dragon Cloak, which you may as well do to get up to a 3-up armor save. So, what I would do is still keep the Talisman of Protection. I think the ward save is super important on it. But let's take that off, and let's go Shield of Grond, because you're only toughness 4 on the Manticore, which I think really sucks. The Shield of Grond gives you -1 modifier to strength attacks coming in, so you're effectively strength 5, or toughness 5, I should say, sorry, which makes a big difference when you're, you know, a relatively squishy elf. I don't understand why Manticore... Oh no, you're T5. It's the Chaos one, I think I'm thinking of. So yes, you're T5 here. Oh! Walk back. It's Renegades. Manticores are normally +1 toughness, but the +2 toughness for Renegades, right? Yeah, there we go. So this means that you're effectively T6, and I like that, where you've got 2 toughness 6 monsters. T5 was like, this is good enough to play. T6 is now like, oh, this is pretty exciting. So I think I'd rather go down that line than give them a little bit of magic resist. Otherwise, Cold War Knights, I think they're good. I like what you've gone for. Banner of Harganeth is good. Obsidian Lodestone is good. But if we're doing it, let's double down. Let's just make sure that it's actually got magic resist that matters. Magic resist 2. Really good stuff there. Into the Dark Riders. Again, like Dark Riders, let's drop the Standard Bearer. We're realistically not going to be using them in that sort of way. And we probably want to give them Fire and Flee as well. Just, it's a nice upgrade to have on there. Doomfire Warlocks are fine. And I'm actually pretty open to testing them. I'd say, because we're a few points over, let's just drop down to 6 for now. You do still get to choose a spell from Dark or Demonology, which is probably going to be the Summoning from Demonology, but it gives you some flexible choice. You can go for Battle Lust and cast it onto the Dark Riders. Battle Lust is not too hard to cast. It's a 9, so you get it on a 7, which previously was bad, but now, with how Magic has tweaked, Doomfire Warlocks look a lot more appealing than they were previously. All right then. The Harpies are fine. I don't hate the Harpies, but they are probably the first thing I would cut if we're looking for some efficiency. Good evening, Existence. Hope you're doing well. And what else would we shave? So I think the list is good there. I don't love a Repeater Crossbow Stubborn unit. I think it's fine. But I also don't know what I'd put in. So I'd maybe be tempted, because you're spending 350 points here. Crossbows are 13 points per model by the time you've put everything on them. Is there a world where you just go instead more Dark Riders, a couple of units of 6, and then you also go... Where have they gone? Dark Elf Warriors here. Because all you need are hand weapon shields, and that's as good as it gets. You know, you go like this. You could go up to, let's say, 20 of them. 175 points for a combat res brick. I think I like significantly more, and it's half the price of the Repeater Crossbowman. So you could then put in, you know, potentially 3 units of 6 Dark Riders if you then maybe make the Warriors a little bit smaller. That feels a little bit better to me, and I probably wouldn't bother with the magic standard. But if you have the repeater crossbowmen, I think they're worth playing around with and testing. I'd say give this a go. If it doesn't work, swap over to a brick of warriors with just hand weapon shield, and then more Dark Riders. That way you can get your combat res brick in for cheap, and you can also get your Dark Riders in. The problem with this is, because you want to shoot with as much of the unit as possible, you need to not be ranked up so you don't get combat res from them. So then the fact that you're investing into them as if they're a combat res brick, they're a little bit of a confused unit, I think. But yeah, I say give them a go. Maybe I'm missing something. Small arms shooting is more effective than it was previously, so I guess I'm missing something there, or maybe I'm missing something. And this just puts us at a few points over, which is probably just going to be drop 2 harpies, and you've still got 6 harpies, which, I mean, you don't need to go particularly big with them. They're still big enough to go and threaten to destroy a baggage train. They're still big enough to go and hunt down war machines. If they take any incoming shots, they immediately become useless, which is the same as if you had 8 of them. So I think this is a good size, like so. The idea is to have synergy with the Plague of Rust. Yeah, I get that. But so if you wanted to have synergy with Plague of Rust, you could go, let's say, I've linked to the list there, because I think this is the version that I'd recommend, because you've put in the crossbowmen. I think it's worth testing. But let's say we just go with 20 warriors. We're not going to go too heavy into upgrades. We're just going to keep it like this, and then we go something like this: 6, 6, or maybe we just go 2 units of 8. Obviously, we'd have to tweak the points here, find another 15 points somewhere, which is doable. Maybe we just go down to, you know, whatever it would be. But this way, you've got less shots, but the shots are more mobile, so it's easier for them to bring to bear to where you want them to be. You've got the combat res brick, and realistically, how many shots are you going to shoot out of that 22 model unit? You're not going 22 wide. Are you going 11 wide on a hill? That's very stationary, so it's easy for people to avoid. So I would be more tempted to lean towards this in your core instead of something like the, or, you know, you could even just drop down 18, 8 and 8, 12 wide. I think test it out. I'd like to hear how it goes for you, Cello. I think there might be issues with it on the tabletop outside of just looking at it in terms of like raw numbers efficiency. So I'd prefer something like this, or ideally 3 units of 6, but you'd have to cut maybe the harpies, which I'd happily do. So like just to show that, for example, go like this. Only 2 of the units can have fire and flee, and then we drop the harpies here, and then the warriors go up to, I guess, 20 again. Like, I feel better about this. You've got 18 shots instead of the 22. You've got your combat res brick there, and then you've still got the, you know, the pressure of the Cold War Knights. You've got the Doomfire Warlocks that can do their job, and you've got the characters as well. So I'm gonna link both versions, because I think this is what I would go with. But like I say, I am interested to hear how the brick of crossbowmen works. Yeah, I definitely play around with both, because I am so I think I've got a pretty good grasp on how list building works. I think I've got a pretty good grasp on how to play the game, but there are multiple ways to play the game, and it's a little bit more narrow now. There are objectives, but one person's opinion isn't necessarily the only way to do things, so I do miss things, and this feels like something that has merit to be tested. We'll test next week when the league starts. Hell yeah. You like warriors in 26 so they can be in marching column until they take casualties? That's big brain. That's big brain. I like that you've gone for that. I was thinking about, what unit was it? I had something similar. I think it was my Yeoman Guard. I was thinking about putting in 5x6 with 30, because realistically they're going to take some damage, and if someone charges me, at least 5 models are going to die. So then by the time it comes to actually calculating combat res, I'm in close order. Yeah. Now need more confidence. No, has a flavour. I would say that is confidence. That I back my opinion, but I also appreciate that other people's opinions have merit as well. That would be my my answer there. we have started to pick up. Good to have you all. Hope you're all doing well on this fine Friday. They're not sponsoring this video, but friend of the channel, I will mention TSN Arena. Do go to tsnarena.com if you're looking to buy tickets for events here in Nottingham at the TSN Arena. Fantastic venue, really like the place. Loads of table space, comfortable chairs. The guy who runs it, Rob, the Honest Wargamer, all square-based, you know, really friendly. He's nicer in person than he is online, and he's pretty nice online. So I can't say I'll guarantee that you'll have a good time, but I'd be very surprised if you didn't. I don't think I know of anyone who's gone to one of his events and had an issue. Also, if you want to do some coaching, check out my coaching Patreon. That should be linked in the description down below, and I'll double check that later on. But yeah, otherwise, let's get on with the good stuff. Who else have we got here? So I saw Tafster, who was looking to play some Empire. List for a small local tournament using the new scenarios. Additional restrictions apply. No more than 25% may be spent on Lord level characters and 25% on hero level characters. Okay, so it's like old school 6th edition, if I'm remembering correctly. So that's not a problem for Empire. You've got a good army to deal with that. Chilo had an amazing time to play with the TS Arena. Hell yeah. I'm glad to hear that. Glad to hear that. And also, if people are coming to the TSN Arena, I don't get to all of them, but you know, especially if you're in the VIP chat, please do send me a message on the in one of the like Discord channels. You can ping me, let me know you're there, and if I'm available, I do pop down every now and then, just to go and check things out on my way to other bits and pieces. Okay, so Tafster's list. General of the Empire, you've got a two-headed Imperial Griffin, white cloak, great weapon, full plate shield. I don't think that 2 heads is worth it. You know what you can get instead of 2 heads for basically the same points? The Dragon Bow. And that gives you flexibility, because this is not a list that wants to be super aggressive, in my opinion. So having a war machine on the back of your Griffin for basically the same point as an additional attack, which is not very good, because it's +1 attack, but it's limited to using the serrated more. So your strength 5, I think Griffins are 5, I'll double check. AP 0 armor, bane 2, multiple wounds 2. Strength 6, but still, it's the lack of AP that really worries me, especially in this meta. Now that everyone's rocking a 3-up armor save in combat, it's just, it feels pretty rough to have additional AP 0 attacks. Wizard, level 3 on foot, battle magic, law familiar power scroll. Seems good to me. That's going to be giving Oaken Shield to the veteran state troops. Love that. Captain of the Empire. No standard. Hand weapon, shield, full plate, no other upgrades. Let's give this a charm shield. For the sake of 3 points, you may as well get a slightly more resilient battle standard bearer. And I would like to see a war banner in there as well, if you're not using it elsewhere. Doesn't look like you're using it elsewhere, so let's just put war banner in there as well, and we'll find some points for it. That isn't going above the 500 points for hero level characters. That's good. These engineers, I would say I would just drop the light armor. If they're ever taking saves, realistically, a 6-up save is going to save them. So if they're taking saves, they've died already. Into core. State troops, veteran state troops, Witch Hunter's Ward. This is an absolute must take. In fact, maybe we put it on the general as well. Griffin standard, this is a really good set of upgrades, shields, light armor, halberds. Yeah, I like this. I could probably take or leave the halberds, but I'm not opposed to seeing them in there. Witch Hunter's Ward's really nice, and again, we'll put a charm shield on the unit champion in case they get challenged out. It gives them a little bit, they soak a little bit more combat res. Just a good upgrade to go for. Then we've got the Empire Knights, who have got, again, Witch Hunter's Ward. Let's give them a charm shield for the sake of it. No standard in here, drilled stubborn. This looks fine. I would maybe tempted to go White Wolf on the Knights instead of the Demigryphs, because you get more effective boost out of the two. But it's not... oh, that should be a BSB. Do you mean the captain here? The one that's BSB already? It was a BSB, but it just didn't have the war standard on there, so I've added that in. Archers, 13. Marksmen, scouts, yep. Absolutely fine. Classic unit. Don't hate to see that at all. Demigryphs, Witch Hunter Ward. Again, let's make sure we're going for Charm Shield. Full plate barding. Yeah. So one of the reasons I don't love the demigryphs to be White Wolf is you lose. And the Wolf Hammers are better, and you've got Furious Charge, but the actual demigryphs themselves kind of do a lot of the heavy lifting. You've got 3 attacks at Strength 5 AP2 already on the demigryphs, so I'd be more tempted to reduce the incoming damage and deal with combat res that way. So, double cannon, Hellblaster, Volley Gun. Okay, so I like the list in general, and we might have to shave a couple of points in here somehow, but let's just tweak it over. So if you don't want to do this, you can obviously just keep the Knights the way around that you've got them. But I'm going to swap this to Knights of the White Wolf, full command. Where have they gone? Charmed Shield, Witch Hunter's Ward, Stubborn Drilled. And they've got the Wolf Hammers and Shields. Very good stuff there. Then these demigryphs we're just going to tune down to the normal ones, which I think are still worth looking at. Especially because you've got First Charge on them. First Charge is really good. And then we're going Witch Hunter's Ward and Charmed Shield. Like so. Full Plate Barding, Lancer Shields. Hey, good to have you, Broma Sapien. Hope you're doing well. So, what am I missing? Oh, a third point. Yeah, so then that actually... Have I messed up the point somewhere? Did you have a banner on this Tafster that I've just neglected to put on? Let's have a look here. Your list was further down the line. I'm going to take a bite of my sandwich while I did it. That's how busy I've been. I haven't even finished my sandwich. Tapestry of Sigma's Triumph. I do like this banner. Rerolling 1s to wound in combat is really nice. What kind of sandwich is it? It's a chicken and bacon. I love how you're also one-track minded. I mean, me too. I also would like to know what's in the sandwich if I didn't know. Okay, so we do need to shave 56 points, which is a little bit of a bugger, because it's not easy to do in this list without cutting something I care about. I also wouldn't mind another Hellblaster Volley Gun. I like them in pairs, but we're already sort of capped at our points, and really that eats into your Demigryph Knight points, so we're not going to put that in. Any sauce? It has some mayo in. It's a pre-made Sainsbury's meal deal sandwich. Those of you in the VIP section know I've been eating a lot of... I'm trying to eat better in general. I've been sitting on my backside a lot. So I've got a walking treadmill ordered. That's going to be fun. I'm going to get a standing desk at some point as well. And then I'm also eating a lot of salads. And the salads I'm eating are like those pre-made just garden or vegetable salads that Sainsbury's has started doing for like $1.30. Half a pot of tzatziki, which is just yogurt and mint basically, and then some croutons, and it's absolutely delicious, really filling. I'm surprised how much I'm enjoying them. Alright, let's cut some points here. Hard to do, so we can go one archer less. Maybe we go down to 24. Ooh, I think it might just be that we go down to 7 knights, which I don't love. Oh, man. You know what we can drop, actually? We can drop the musician on the knights, because they've got drilled, and they're either going to deal enough damage to be happy about it, or they're not going to need the musician. Sweaty Ed on stream, what talking Warhammer? Oh, let's not. I like using dummy for the models, Sigma's Triumph. Yeah. You only have one Hellblaster. That's super fair. All of those are very fair points. So I think with what you've got here, this is probably the best version of what I'd go for, just tweaking it around. So I think all of this is good, and it doesn't really need to be changed much. This is all fine as well. Here, Demigryph Knights, I love them. Probably better just to drop them and go for an extra cannon, a Hellblaster Volley Gun, and an Engineer. But, I mean, there's the joy in playing the list that we want to play, right? So just make sure that you're also having a good time with it. And I think the changes, you know, having the Demigryph Knights in certain matchups, they're going to do some pretty decent work as well. I didn't end up putting Magic Resist on the General. We were already pretty shaved for points. But if you can find points to do so, I would recommend. Not really sure what I'd cut for that, though. Yeah, there's nothing that I'm super jazzed about cutting. Maybe you go down to 1 Engineer, which is kind of risky, but it's doable. fairly unbelievable. What game is this, by the way? Are you right, Jason? I'm not sure if I'm understanding you properly. All right. Who else have we got here that I can see in chat? Obviously wasn't able to get to everyone's list, so I can't just say who's here, unfortunately. But we got... You know what? I'm just going to go from the top. Corathon, hello! You love these streams? Hell yeah. Glad you're here. I really like doing them. They're a lot of fun. I like sitting here and getting to actually have interaction with chat, which is something... So, out of these and the Tuesday streams, obviously the Tuesday streams do a lot better, and the Tuesday streams are fun, and I like doing the tier lists, yada yada. The Friday streams are my favourites out of the two. I do prefer the Friday streams because I get to just interact with chat. I get to do some list building, which I really like. A lot of good stuff in there. Lots of good stuff. You can always interact with chat. Tuesdays it's harder to do because we're more focused on a topic, and I don't want to get off topic. You can always interact with chat to your stream. Yeah, but like I want the Tuesday stream to be more focused, and I like it for what it is. So it's not a complaint about, you know, oh, woe is me. Corathon. I don't think there was anything with your list. No, perfect, that's fine. Chat is always on topic. Yeah, I do read the chat, and I do have a giggle at some things, even if I don't say anything out loud. That's one of the things I liked about my old stream software. I could highlight certain messages in chat and put them up on stream when someone said something funny. That was good. Alright, so we've got 2,500 points Exiles for Corathon. We've got a Baron, a Paladin, an Outcast Wizard, a Damsel, and an Outcast Wizard. Okay. Cool. Not sure about the second Outcast Wizard. We'll get to it. Knights of the Realm, Human Guard, Peasant Bowman. I'd like these Human Guard to be a bit bigger, I think. 4 Peg Knights. Great stuff. No magic banner. We can do better. Trebuchet, Bombard, Brigands, Questing Knights. Oh wow. Okay. Graveguard for Vampire Counts are awesome now. Hey man, they were awesome before, and now they're really, really good. So, Corathon, you messaged just a few minutes ago. Are we chatting about the reveal? You can chat about them if you want. I'll have a video up about them tomorrow, probably lunchtime or so, I think. Corathon, are you sold to the Questing Knights? I know they're thematically cool. My problem with them is that they're just not very good. They only have 1 attack. They are strength 4 base, which is cool, so they get up to strength 6 with the great weapons. They're weapon skill 5, which is nice, but they're only ever strike at initiative 4, so a surprising amount of things will strike before them, especially as we're seeing more bricks of infantry. People might genuinely be bringing spears now, so you might find that you take a load of spears to the face. Demon Wizard goes with them and prays for the buffs. That's funny. So, my advice would be, we can free up 268 points here, and then we maybe tweak some stuff here. However, if you don't want to do that, we can keep them. Chaos Dwarves look great if you're down to invest in Renegade Army. I am not. I would recommend that people don't until we see the next edition. The Initiative 4 and Questing. Yeah, like a joke from the creators. That's true. Alright, so let's go line by line. So we've got Exiles Vow, Shield, Talisman of Protection on this character. So obviously you don't start off with the ward save. My plan is to get the ward save without, too much issue. So I would say Talisman of Protection, not the way I'd protect this character. Let's drop the shield. Let's go Charmed Shield, so you get a once per game 5 at ward. Really important just in case someone tries to snipe you with a cannon. And let's go Grommel Great Helm. This gets you to a 2-up save rerolling 1s against shooting, and you've got a single use 5 at ward, and the second that you manage to win a combat or catch a unit, which is very easy to do for this character. You get down to, you've got your actual Blessing of the Lady. Mostly because you only have 9 Questing Knights and 12 Knights of the Realm. That's fair. That's fair. What if do you have any more Yeoman Guard? Because that's where I'd like to put some points. I'd like to put these up to 30s, ideally. Paladin, BSB with no magic standard. We're going to put some magic standards in here. Shield, Exiles Vow. On foot. Oh, you put the Grommel Great Helm on this character. You don't need to. So, because you've got a hand weapon shield, And I think you just use the hand weapon shields. You don't worry about the Morningstar, because it's not very good. Strength +1, AP -1, only if you charged, and a foot character's not going to charge very often. I wouldn't be super bothered about that. So I would say, don't worry about the Grommel Greathelm. Here, you've got your 3-up armor save with hand weapon shield anyway, and you're doing the same amount of damage, which is basically none with that paladin. Only the 40. Okay, no worries, no worries. I will advise on what I would tweak, but we'll keep to as it was. So, veteran. I just need to double check on the veteran wording, because if the majority of the models in this unit have the special rule, the unit may... Okay, let's have a look here, because I think the virtue of the Impetuous Knight gives it to... Yeah. Oh, no, this is okay. So, what you could do, if you wanted, is you could spend these 40 points that you've just saved and put it on the... So what that does is it gives you additional charge range on your unit, and the Yeoman Guard do actually have veteran themselves, so I don't know why I was worrying. But you can get them up to a 13-inch declarable charge, which is not too bad. It gives you some pressure. I think I'd be tempted as well to go one unit of the Yeoman Guard and just put them all into one big brick if you've only got 20 of them. I don't think 20 do the job you want them to. So let's go 40 with a war banner. Don't bother about the polearms. You're never going to want the actual polearms. Just go with halberds. You're probably going to use light weapons and shields more often. Full command here. Blessed Triptych depends at the level you're playing at. The worse your opponents are, and I don't mean that in terms of like to neg or something, but if you play against good players, they're just going to snipe out the Grail Monk and get rid of your Stubborn. But if you play against people who don't do that, the Triptych is very good. So we've got the Peasant Bowman. These are absolutely fine. This is fine as well. May as well put a Musician in there if you're going for the command. This unit here, this one you pretty much always want to go with Banner of Shalons on your Pegasus Knights, because they're a unit that's really good at threatening ranged infantry and getting into the back lines. Turning off their stand and shoot is really, really nice. Okay. I do like this loadout here. Trebuchet Bombard is good. The Questing Knights we've talked about. Oh, you've put the Banner of Shalons in there. It's okay. We'll take that off and we'll put it on the Pegasus Knights. This unit is more likely to be breaking their shields, or breaking the shields of enemy infantry, I would say. So if you wanted to go with anything, do they... Wait. Do the Questing Knights not get the Exiles vow? No, they get the Questing vow? Ugh. Oh, I like that even less. Oh, that's sad. It's like Grail Knight's not getting it for some reason. Man. I mean, we could put the Banner of Honourable Warfare on there. You get rerolls to hit versus ranged units. It's okay, and yeah. Honourable Warfare to be better in every match outside of Tomb King, what should we call it, Overshalons. Warp Phoenix, I think the answer is to take 2 units of Pegasus Knights and you take both Banner. That's how I normally do it. They're on a quest for battle rules. Yeah, I agree. That is pretty accurate. This unit's absolutely fine here. The Brigands, what have you given them? Unit Champion, Shields, Blunderbuss, Skirmishes, and Scouts. I mean, I respect it. I think don't go Scouts, because Scouts... Well, you can go Scouts. Here's my thinking. If you're playing Exiles, you don't have to pray for the Blessing of the Lady, so you still get to roll to go first. If you've got Scouts and your opponent doesn't, then you're giving up a free, you know, go first, or like +1 to go first. However, you could theoretically go Scouts. I don't hate them with ambushes, because they can come in from the back lines. You can shoot the blunderbuss, which are very funny. They take penalties for moving, but I think that's it. Everything else they don't take penalties for, so you're going to be hitting on 5s with all of the shots. They're okay. They're fine. They're fun. I appreciate a fun unit. So I'd tweak it to ambushes instead of skirmishes, because then you still get to do your sort of unload shenanigans, but not at the cost of going first. Damsel here, level 2, Warhorse, Elementalism, Wand of Jet. I am not sure what you're casting with this model. What are you casting with this model? What are you casting with this model? Mostly she's going with the Knights of the Realm. Cool. That makes sense. Alright. Signature spells are good. I'd go level 1, Illusion, and that gives you a flex. You can go either with Glittering Robes, or you can go with the Gift of the Lady. It just saves you some points, because she's never really caring about the second spell that she's taking. I don't hate the Wand of Jet there. Then we have these two wizards. So I don't think a level 3 Necromancer is going to do much, because the Necromancy wizard... Dwellers Below, it ain't good. What if, hear me out, you went this one, this caster is Dark Magic, and Prayer Icon of Quenelles, we're going to take off the Sacrament and lay the Power Scroll. Power Scroll, Sacrament. Tell you what, we'll keep a Sacrament on there. This character is specifically rolling, and it's praying for Battle Lust. You're really, really hoping to get Battle Lust. But it's still providing you with a mobile source of Dispel Threat. That's just solid to have. Then we've got this caster, and this one goes Demonology, and then goes for Lore Familiar, and probably 2 Power Scrolls, just because points are a little bit awkward. And this caster is going for Demonic Vessel, Demonic Vigor, and probably Gathering Darkness, honestly. And that just gives you more consistency in trying to supercharge. And this unit, this model here, the one that's providing value in terms of being a Dispel Threat, it also has a chance of rolling into Battle Lust and Word of Pain, which buffs up the rest of your list. Necro Outcast is up for changes. He's a meme entry. Perfect, because he's gone. Dead to me. And then we're 7 points over. So Baron, I like this version of the Baron. Paladin, I wouldn't mind a standard. I don't actually know that we need one, though. You could go Errantry Banner, which is +1 strength, because you're impetuous already. I don't think it's worthwhile. So I think just like this is absolutely fine. 2 Wizards are good. Damsel makes sense. Knights of the Realm, Ymgard, Bowman, Peg Knights. Yeah, this is good. Let's just go down to 38 models. Job's a good one. Oh, wait, hold on. I need to put this one on a horse. That's very important. Does the Warhorse still have countercharge? Ooh. Okay. This unit doesn't have countercharge anyway. God damn. What is wrong with questing knights? Why don't they get any good rules? That's so sad. Alright, so you don't lose countercharge with the Outcast Wizard because they didn't get it anyway. This one can just go on foot, and it can join in with the Human Guard, theoretically, or one of the skirmishing units. Alright, there we go. And that is a tweaked version that didn't even take out the questing knights as much as I really wanted to. Let's have a look here. Too busy questing to countercharge. Yeah. Questing knight's best rule is that they're not a 1+ unit. Are they 0 to 1 or something? Because that is a pretty good rule. That is a pretty good rule. Don't make me play more of them. Alright. Alright, let's move on. We've got Bogwan. I think I've pronounced that correctly. But I am white, and it sounds like something that white people might struggle to say. So if I got it wrong, I can only apologise. Oh, my sandwich is it's going crusty. I need to finish that off. Building an army for my local scene, getting a list together that I like. Just wanted your thoughts on it from a competitive view. Cap with what WWR. Wildwood Rangers, okay. Eagle screening Wildwood Rangers. Shadow Dancers, War Dancers is for Dispel in the Free Forest. Glade Riders come in late for backup cleanup. Staglord is there to support. I think your plan falls apart because you're saying cap with the Wildwood Raiders. Wildwood Rangers. Wildwood Rangers can't hold any objectives. It's core only. So this unit, unfortunately, doesn't do anything. So, that's unfortunate. Hasselflavor, how dare you? We invented the language. And by invented, I mean we stole it from other people. As I like, you know, my favourite summary of the English language is the one that beats up other languages in alleyways and steals their vocabulary. It's not a fault you all had such great words that we took. Okay, so before I forget to put this in at Borg 1, because I don't know if he's here, at 43 mins-ish. Oh, Eric, that's really kind of you. Thank you so much. That's very generous. Big thanks to everyone on the behalf of Eric. If you did get one of those close order memberships, make sure you post in the Needs Roll channel on the Discord, and I will apply your role there for you. And given that it's Longbeard tier, it will give you access to the VIP section of the lobby, etc. Did we talk about the Arcane Journals already? Not yet. I will do that off stream and have that up tomorrow. That is... Hey, finally made it to a live stream. Glad to have you, Eric. I hope you're doing well. Okay. So, as mentioned, I don't think the Wildwood Rangers work in the way you want them to, because I think you want to hold objectives with them, and you can't hold objectives with them because they're not core. So, I'm going to talk about the list as if they're still intended to be in, but I think it all falls apart because, I mean, I think you're trying to use them to be like a combat res brick that holds objectives. And unfortunately, there's no, like, good replacement. I wouldn't recommend putting Eternal Guard in to do the same thing. I don't think Eternal Guard are very good. So I think, yeah, there's not a great sort of parallel there. Let's talk about the loadout and the characters to start off with, though. So we've got a General Great Weapon Shield on a Great Stag with Armour of Destiny. So that gets you up to 2-up save when you combine it with the Armoured Hide 2, the Shield, and the Heavy Armour there. Gives you a 4-up ward save as well. Annoyance of Netling and Aspect to the Bear. This gets you to Strength and Toughness 5 base, and Annoyance of Netling gets you -1 to be hit in a challenge. So just a really good, solid, tanky lord. I like this a lot. Then we've got a Captain. Standard of the Morning Chill, which is the banner that gives you reserve move. Swirling Mists, I think is... Oh, yes, it gives you... no, that's the Beastman version. So it's the spell from the Law of the Wilds that gives you basically Mark of Nurgle against shooting attacks, which is not bad. I don't hate it. A Dryad's better these days. Yeah, they have purpose. I still don't love them, but I could see putting some in. They're very resistant to shooting. T4 with a regen and light armor, and with -1 to hit for being skirmish. They don't fall over to shooting attacks very easily. So this loadout is BSB, Great Weapon, Light Armor, on foot. Oh, okay, so this is going with the Wildwood Rangers. Aerial's Favour for Magic Resist, Arm of Meteoric Iron, Befuddlement of Mischiefs, and a Resplendent Luminescence. So we're giving the unit magical attacks and Befuddlement of Mischief as minus initiative and weapon skill to a unit in base to base. And then Eternal Kindred as well, which gives you reroll 1s to hit, I think. And if you're in range of special features, which are actually a thing now, you still get to reroll to wound. So that's cool. Like, I like the combos you've gone for. I just don't think that it works here. But in terms of, like, proof of concept, these two loadouts are very good. I don't love Shadow Dancers. If you're going for it, though, go Illusion. Interesting to go Oakenstave, though, actually. So definitely 100% go Illusion here. Because Glittering Robes means that this model might not just immediately fall over. But Oakenstave... Okay. That's a cute little adaptation. Do I like that more than I like just a normal Spellsinger doing that? You can take Illusion here as well. I think I'd prefer it on a Spellsinger, but if you like the models, I don't think it's worse. And it theoretically gives you some flexible... Oh, shit! Thank you very much to Beowulf Miniatures as well. Do check them out. They are a 3D printing service, and you can find them by googling Beowulf Miniatures. Do 3D printing for various sculpts all of the stuff that you'd have seen, you know, the regular sculpts there. Did you end up moving over to a website? Are you still on Etsy? I know we were talking previously, and I was kind of waiting to see if you were going to move over to your website. But as someone who is now self-employed with their own business, I guess there's less hours in the day than you want there to be. I'm learning. You are popular today. I can't say I dislike it. Touch base soon. No rush, buddy. I'm super busy as well. I will get back to you if you message me, but just, you know, in your own time, whenever suitable for you, mate. Yeah, there really is a limited amount of time in the day. I've been doing like 9 hours of coaching a day, a lot, and then on top of that, whatever else I need to do, so like an hour or so of prep across the day and everything else. Puts out good work and catches endless grief in the VIP chat. I love it though. It's good banter. It's friendly banter, and it's such a weird place. There's good discussion about Old World in the VIP section, but then there's also respectful discussion about politics from both sides of the aisle. And for the American viewers, that doesn't mean sort of like American politics. British politics is way more sort of centre left. So it's a lot of sort of like centre left, centre right. A lot closer than maybe some of the divisive discourse that happens. But since most of us over here in the UK that are active in the VIP section, it's a lot of just disagreeing with local politics, I think. The prettiest streamer at the currently live streaming Warhammer content on YouTube. Well, hell yeah, I'll take that. Because I'm trying to lose weight, one of the things that makes me feel a lot happier about my appearance is the haircut and shave. It's funny how much weight it feels like it makes me lose from my face. But yeah, I will be the prettiest princess, and I will wear a dress. I'm happy to do that. Still waiting on the soup tier list. Maybe you lot need to remind me, but maybe for, you know, April Fools or something like that. I was thinking of doing an April Fools thing this year, just gone, and I couldn't get around to it. My partner's obsessed with April Fools ideas. She was like, "Oh, you should get me to do a video, and wouldn't that be funny?" Which, like, in concept, yes, but I think it might have got old quite quickly. Back to the list. So we've got Gladeguard. I like Arcane Bodkins on Gladeguard because they want to be stationary. Deepwood Scouts. I like Arcane Bodkins here a bit. I also really like True Flight Arrows, but it depends what you think you're going to need to deal with. Glade Riders here. This unit I would 100% swap over from Arcane Bodkins to True Flight Arrows, because this unit is going to be moving a lot. Give them reserve move as well. For the same points, you get to never be targeted, because you can always move and shoot, and then you've also got, you know, ignore, cover, and quick shot bows, so much stronger for purpose there. Wildwood Rangers, we talked about why I don't think this works for what you want to do, but assuming that you know that this doesn't score, this is the way that I would load them out. Charm Shield, War Banner is good. Wild Riders are great. I really like this loadout. This is what I go for. Just a unit champion and shield. And then War Dancers, which I don't love as a unit, but in this list, like, I actually kind of think you're cooking with this. Definitely swap over to Illusion from Battle Magic, but I think this is interesting. And then a Great Eagle for zoning on the Wild Riders. I think, in terms of what you're trying to do with the list, I don't think it can be refined much more. I like what you've gone for. In fact, I'm not even sure I made many or any tweaks. Yeah, I made a couple of very minor tweaks to it, but it just comes down to whether the Wildwood Rangers work. So hopefully, when you listen to this back, if you do get a chance, let me know, and we can work through if there are any thoughts you have. All right. Let's have a look at Peter's list. Peter has an Empire list, and he says the Dwarf is in there along with the Wagon, kind of for fun, as a counter threat for the block of state troops, but feel free to drop for something more sensible. I don't hate Doomseekers. As mercenaries go, they're not bad, but yeah. What I will say is we absolutely don't put War Wagons in rare when we can put them in your character slot. So here immediately, if we just spend a few more points and we go, you've got the White Cloak here. Yeah, so Talisman of Protection. Like this, if you want a War Wagon, this is the way to do it. More wounds, theoretically more output, but realistically not. But also it comes with a talisman protection, and you maybe want to put another engineer in, because this one probably doesn't want to stand back and sit near the cannons. Road Wardens are really good. I like them. I prefer them with crossbows, with pistols, sorry. I don't think they do a lot with crossbows. If it's a model limitation, they're still okay with crossbows, but I would definitely do something like this. Let's just leave the, leave them with the bracer crossbows there, like so. 2 cannons is fine, 3 is better, but it's okay. Knights of the White Wolf and Veteran State Troops, both of these loadouts are good. Let's make sure that we're giving you a Witch Hunter's Ward and a Charmed Shield, though. They're really, really solid. They up the value of those units so much. I cannot recommend them enough. Frenzy the Engineer War Wagon for 18 attacks on the base. Let's go. Yeah, let's go. Loads of Strength 3 attacks. We love that. What else are we looking at here? Doomseeker, I think, because we're about 140 points over, I am going to take the Doomseeker out just to make sure we have points without cutting the stuff that's going to do a lot of the work. Then you've got the General, Imperial Griffin, White Cloak, Dragon Bow, and Silver Horn. Do we need a Silver Horn? That gives you rerolls to your Swift Stride or something, doesn't it? I think I wouldn't bother with that. I'm not super bothered about for 15 points going for it. Hey Jithelu, am I playing in the LD3, the Match Play Grand Tournament? Is that an online one? I'm not really playing any, what's the word I'm looking for? Singles tournaments at the moment. I'm focusing pretty much entirely on Worlds and team practice. But I might get to a local tournament before Mela in September, just because, you know, they're easy to get to. But no, so I'm not playing online tournaments at the moment. Something that I'll be looking to get back into when I've got my sort of spare time back post WTC. When is Worlds? It is the last weekend in September. Hey Peter, not a model limitation at all. We're pure aesthetic randomness. Okay, cool. So let's talk through the choices then. So we've got a Wizard Lord, which for some reason doesn't have a spell lore. Lore Familiar, Power Scroll, Wizard Familiar. Wizard Familiar is +2 Dispel, right? Yeah, that's good. I like that item. What lore are you thinking of here? And I don't know why it hasn't allowed you to pick one. That's weird. Got a Captain, Imperial Banner. Ooh, Imperial Banner's... I don't know that you need that, because you're already re-rolling all of those from the standard. I think that's a lot of points. Like, if you're putting it into the Veteran State Troops, I'd probably just go with either Icon of More, which gives you fear, so your unit becomes immune to fear and terror, or terror becomes fear, but you outnumber them, so you're basically immune to fear. And also, it means that people are less likely to hit you if they charge in with units that you outnumber. I like the Icon of More a lot in that place. I'd rather keep my war wagon over the Deep Seeker. Yeah, absolutely. Can't annoy Tom about his Cathay lists until then. Hey. What are we looking at here? Full plate shield, Witch Hunter's Ward. Let's just give this guy a Charmed Shield as well. That's going to be like the #1 thing that I'm doing today, I think. It's basically just making sure everyone's paying 3 points more to get a single use 5-up ward save. It's so good. It's so good. Hey, Harry. We are doing well, I think. Or not to speak for everyone in chat. How are we doing, chat? I'm doing well. Let's have a look here. I'm assuming this wizard is battle magic, so it can cast Oaken Shield and just be there to add a ward save to the Veteran State Troops. Let's assume that that's what we're doing. And then we've got the 2 engineers. I like this. I think these tweaks here, solid. Is there anything else that we need to put in? I feel like we're pretty much there. I don't know. Like, it might just be bumping up the units a bit. It's 32 points is an odd amount. I think I've already glanced already. Yeah, perfect. What do we want to go here? It's a hard question. I wouldn't mind like a repeater pistol. Some stand and shoot value is not awful, and then we could theoretically just add. I mean, I don't know that I want to add a 7th Road Warden. That feels like they start to get a little bit unwieldy because they have to get close. This unit's great already. Oh, you've got the Icon of More there. Okay, so the Icon of More that I put on the BSB, we're just going to take that off and put a War Banner on. That's absolutely fine as well. Have all the engineer variants given whatever. Nice. I normally don't bother to give this guy anything, but given that he stood at the back, you could theoretically give him the... Where's it gone? Oh, hold on. So we give this guy the dragon bow, and we give the general of the Empire. Isn't there another... I swear there's another Empire weapon. Maybe it's Nuln only, actually. Maybe only Nuln can take the other gun. There's like a 25 point gun or something like that. Repeater pistol on Warden Champions. It gives you an additional chart. It's true. That is true. You do lose out on attack because you don't have a brace of pistols, but I guess we don't really want them in combat anyway. I think it's probably just 2 more state troops taking up to 390 like that. Nuln Arquebus. Yeah. Good shout. Thank you, Warp Phoenix, as well. But yeah, I think you're pretty much there with the concept anyway, and this just makes it a little bit more consistent at doing what you want it to do, I think. So this was for Peter. I think it's... Oops. There we go. Perfect. I hope I've pinged the right one. One of the downsides of having such a popular Discord is now it's a little hard to make sure I'm pinging the right people because there's some overlap in names. Army number 2 planned out. Hell yeah. Looking good for that. Oh boy, Phil, good evening. And Chorfs, yeah, I'm going to have a look at those. I did ping you correctly. Fantastic. Alright, fantastic. We've got more Empire, but let's skip ahead. Let's look at Thane of the Bad Moon's list, who is back with more Skaven. And the notes on this list were too long for me to fit in my notes section, so let me just scroll up and have a look at this and take another bite of my rapidly getting stale sandwich. Okay. That's me bragging about how popular I am. I'm such a shit. Such a shit. Alright. Do you do any gameplay videos? I try and do battle reports now and then. It just depends on time. I should probably start putting those Warhol battle reports out as well. They are Warhol, they're not in person. It's a lot of commitment to actually do in-person battle reports, unfortunately. But before the end of the year, I am looking to hopefully have cast a tournament. I've got 2 lined up. I can't give too many details yet. I don't want to give details because I don't want to disappoint if they fall through. But there are 2 different events that look like I might be able to set up to do some casting. And it might become like something every 2 months or so. I do a casted event. But we'll see. It's still early days. Is that rat bastard here? I don't think he is. He normally makes himself known with rat emojis. But he often catches up on the videos, so hello if you do watch this. So this is for the Refenestration of Prague. Nice. So it's 3 rounds, 2,000 points, fun but competitive. You've got 3 hours to play. That's good. Missions, secondary objectives. Okay, so interesting. So there are. When it says secondary objectives, I wonder if that's meant to be the 2, 3, and 4 ones. Will not be using secret objectives. Yeah, a lot of people aren't using secret objectives. Longshanks is wild, though. I thought Longshanks was dead and buried, but I guess not. Cheese. Ah, Mastodon, you've probably summoned him. Yeah, good stuff there. All right, so similar to the pre-FAQ match play guide you helped with, 3 more Gutter Runners, Warp Lightning, and 3 Exiles, and a second Gracie you could work in. 1 more... You could get a box of models to make some changes as well. Want to keep the A-bomb as you have a centerpiece to try, plus it's Truel. It's a lot better. I hate the Abomination, but in Renegades, it is better than it was, because it goes up to strength, toughness 6. I think that's the only change. So it's a lot more playable. I'm not sure if it had a regen before as well. Can't remember off the top of my head, but let's just treat it as it is, which is underwhelming but playable. Warlord, Fellblade, Shield, Heavy Armor. Yep. Sometimes you wake up and you just want violence, and I appreciate that. Grand Banner of Superiority, Shield, Heavy Armor, Halberd, Skaven, Brutalism, Protection. This is a good loadout, but let's just make sure we're putting the Grand Banner of Superiority on here. It's the same tweak that I'd always recommend. A battle standard bearer can be sniped. A unit standard bearer cannot be sniped. So as long as you have at least 2 models, you're always getting the Grand Banner of Superiority, whereas you only need the Swift Stride to either get in or to run down a dragon. So this is good here. Greyseer, level 4, Demonology, Lore Familiar, Power Scroll, Warpstone Amulet. I think I wouldn't bother with level 4. I think level 3 is absolutely fine. And with those points, I'd go, let's go... Why do the Renegades rules break things? God damn it, man. We'll put one Warpstone token in. I just want more consistency on it, basically. The model is hideously gorgeous. I do like it, actually. I remember when it came out, and I was pretty blown away. Oh, it's because... Apologies to the to Val Heffelfinger for the Renegade rules, and also Old World Builders dev. I was at max points. I'm an idiot. It isn't the Renegades rules things breaking. It's me not being able to count. Anyway. Wake up, man. Get a grip. Greyseer, we're just going to go for an extra casting boost, because you only care about 3 spells. Storm Vermin, good stuff. Cautious Shield here is really nice. Superiority, Halberds, Heavy Armor Shields. I like weapons teams, but you're going to be marching them, so that's fine. Clan Rats, I like Rattling Guns, especially now the detachment, so big fan of these two. Gutter Runners with Slings and Poison attacks, these are absolutely fine. They're worse than they were, they're still okay. And that leaves us with just a few points. Honestly, I think the list is pretty much there. I would be going 100% putting Command in the Clan Rats. I know it feels like maybe they're too cheap to want to do it, but you can now just tank things pretty well for a very cheap unit. Because remember, the Rattling Gun itself is 65 points. So this unit is like 97 points to hold an objective. I think that's super decent. Give them Command, definitely worth going for. We do need to shave 8 points, though. I think it's probably just going to be a Storm Vermin. Yeah, not many tweaks there. Don't need to count when he's internet famous as me. I'm not internet famous at all. It always surprises me when people feel that way about me. Thane of Batloon. Alright. There we go. Skaven! Skaven. Blame the heat. Yeah, the heat definitely does affect my ability to form coherent sentences. But also working a lot the day before makes a difference. No shields on the Clan Rats. Oh, bugger. Did I not put shields on them? Oh, no. I just assumed they had shields. Bugger, they do need shields. Yeah, good spot. They absolutely have to have shields. So we're going to shave some points, which is going to be 4 more Storm Vermin, something like that. Yeah. It doesn't have to be super precise. There's nothing else we can put in here comfortably to fill up those points. So let's just copy that again, edit the message, and get rid of the wrong version, put in the right version. Good spot on them shields, Himok. Lions. Lions indeed. I think we can go back to some more Empire. This is Nuln Empire, so it's different. There's a real love for Empire this week, which I'm a big fan of. This, I mean, I've already waxed lyrical about this unit. I think this unit's fantastic. I really like it. You know, especially because you can put Magic Resist on it. You've got the Griffin Standard. It's got a ridiculous amount of combat res. You know, you start off with 6 for the ranks, 7 for close order, 8 for a standard, 9 for infantry outnumber. Am I missing something? Stand on a hill so you've got the high ground. It's great. It's really, really good. And then a unit of state troops to make it legal. Outriders. I like the Outriders. The Blunderbuss is just mathematically superior in all ways, so I'm glad that people run that. Double cannons, 1 Hellblaster volley gun, 5 Road Wardens, and a Stank Steam Tank. Yeah, these loadouts are all good. So far, I haven't even looked at the characters. These loadouts look great. So we've got a general of the Empire, who is the general, who's just gone... Okay, so you've given this the magic resist and the ability to ignore penalties for shooting for the Outriders. Okay, love that. Yes, obviously you don't ignore penalties yourself or you don't ignore all of the penalties yourself. So giving him a handgun would be a poor idea. Cool, like this loadout, although I would be on board for a dragon bow, but never mind, you've got a dragon bow here. Captain, BSB, Free State of Nuln. 20 points for stubborn is pretty wild. I like that. It's cheaper than you know, if it was 1 point a model. Think about it in that terms. Great weapon, light armor. Oh, twice blessed armor. Twice blessed armor is really nice. So this is a full plate armor for 25 points that gives you hammer hand at power level 2. That's just solid. That's combat res. Dragon bow as well. Surprisingly, can be combat res if you use stand and shoot. Yeah, Griffin Banner and Horde is huge. It's really, really nice. So this is a really nice tanky unit, and you've got the shield on there as well. Perfect. Liking your loadout so far. Good stuff, more Empire Rumors. Captain of the Empire. This one is full plate lance, pistol, Pegasus, enchanted shield. I like this concept. I've played around with something similar. I went with, I think, a witch hunter on a Pegasus, just doing a very similar thing with like a brace of pistols. But it's, you know, it's a fun idea. I don't know that it brings enough. I like that you're trying it, so I'm keen to hear how it works out for you, or if you've been using it, do let me know. I think the Pegasus gives you +1 wound, right? So you T4 with 3 wounds? Yeah, that's correct. It's not too squishy. Level 1 Wizard, Demonology. Yep, I like it. Wizard's Familiar giving +1 to Dispel is good. You're still suffering from the range, but I think it's otherwise pretty solid. And then Engineers. Yeah, I like this list. I don't know that I tweaked anything at all with this. I don't think I tweaked anything at all. I might just go at more Empire Rumors. Roughly 1 hour, 4 mins, give or take. And I will copy and paste it, but I think mostly I'm just going to say I like the list. You've done a good job. I want to hear how the Pegasus does. I love the concept of Pegasus characters. They look so cool. This is like a pet model of mine. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of them. When I was writing a lot of Empire lists towards the start of the edition, when I was looking at Outriders, actually, I was pretty high on Outriders before the Arcane Journal dropped, which is not me bragging that I knew something that everyone didn't. They were mathematically not good at that point. But yeah, I really liked the idea of, in a game which has lower output, just having 3 shots at Strength 4 AP1 seems pretty nutty to me. Chaos Dwarves have new minis. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm going to be having a look at those later on. What else are we up to here? It's been a while since you got a live stream. Hell yeah. Good to have you, Cercia. Cercia. Yeah, pretty sure I got that right. I'm doing so well with Word. Hell yeah. All right. Oh, there was text with this. Try to create a Dark Elf list with the best infantry they've got. I don't know about level 1 Sorceress to blast a bit. Looks good, but I didn't try it in game. So, I'm going to talk about what I think the issue with Dark Elf infantry is. And the issue is, this unit, 350 points plus supporting characters, in theory does a good job at holding objectives or standing there or being a pain in the backside. However, they don't score points because they're not core. And thus they just get completely ignored, and they don't score you any points, and it's just like a dead 700 points with support. And I just don't think armies like Dark Elves can afford that. I really kind of worry about taking any infantry that isn't in core, especially an army that is underperforming. Dwarves can maybe get away with it, but I still much prefer just core dwarf infantry. But I don't know how you make Dark Elf infantry work. Because they don't put pressure, do they? That's the issue, and I don't mean to. They don't put pressure, do they? They don't put pressure down. So, if you went demonology and you were flying them up to park them in front of an enemy unit, I could maybe see it. But even that, I don't love. It's really unreliable. Something like Cold One Knights, which obviously are not a core unit, and the stupidity rule is way worse now than it was, or a little bit worse now than it was. This is still worth taking because they're fast enough to affect the game. They have rules that are very strong against enemy infantry units. They've got a huge amount of attacks. They've got first charge. I think Cold One Knights, one of the best armies in the game, one of the best units in the game at grinding through infantry Death Stars. Now, stupidity makes me worry about taking them, and it's one of the reasons that I'm not necessarily looking at Dark Elves or Cold Ones for WTC myself. But I think it's a unit that has a lot of play, as long as you're willing to roll the dice, and sometimes they become stupid and you lose the game from it. But they're going to win you the game a lot as well, so there is a coin flip there. So I just don't think this unit does what you want it to do, and it's really sad because I want to play elf infantry. I want to play high elf infantry, I want to play swordmasters, I want to play phoenix guard, I probably want to play blackguard. Yeah. The Dark Elf Sorceress does get the once per game reroll to cast right. Yeah, no, absolutely it does. Which is great. Don't get me wrong, that's a really cool rule to have. Worse than High Elf for no good reason, but you know, it's awesome that they get that. But let's just talk about the list as if it did work, because it's worth sort of... for anyone who wants to play Dark Elves, thinking about it in terms of other builds. So, the Dreadlord. You've gone Full Plate Shield, Black Dragon, Sword of Might, Pentator Caleth, and Obsidian Lodestone. This is fine. This is a decent loadout. I'd be tempted to drop the Obsidian Lodestone and the Sword of Might and just go for the Spell Eater Axe. I think that's just a more efficient way to get Magic Resist 2. Your attacks get marginally worse. You're still AP 1. You've got Magic Resist 2. You lose 1 point of strength. You weren't killing a lot with the Lord anyway. If I want a weapon on an elf on dragon, I default now to the Biting Blade because there's so much more 3-up armor saves than there were before. Other than that, looks solid, and this just kind of does the same thing. Supreme Sorceress, level 3, Dark Pegasus, Elementalism, Lore Familiar. This is fine. You're looking to cast Earthen Ramparts on here. I think you need a Power Scroll to make sure that the key turn it goes off, because Earthen Ramparts is just too unreliable to cast. It is, you know, it's a 9, which is better than it was, but you needing a 7, 43 or 44% of the time, you just don't get it off, and I really worry about that when all my eggs are in this basket. Warriors, I like this unit. I actually quite like this unit. I wouldn't pay for spears. I'd just go hand weapon shields, light armor, and veterans fine. I don't hate veterans, but you could just use this to go for another Dark Rider, for example, and that is a better use of your points in my opinion. Actually, hold on. Reassessing my opinion there. There is a reason to take Thrusting Spears, and that is that you are Initiative 4 base, and you have Elven Reflexes to get to Initiative 5, and Thrusting Spears give you +1 initiative. Okay, maybe there is a reason to take Spears. I still probably wouldn't myself, I'd just keep them cheap, but you can do that, so I'm going to leave it as it is. Dark Riders, all of these upgrades are fine. You probably don't scout most games, but I do value having the flexibility to do so, especially if you get paired into like Bretonnian Grand Army or something. You're like, oh, I'll just, I'll do what I want, thank you very much. Run it back to when you did my list. Thank you. You're welcome, Harry. You are welcome. I like unit champions on these as well, because you need something to be able to soak challenges for the Dreadlord as well. So let's make sure we've got unit champions on both of these, and full command here is good. And then, well, we're 15 points too many here. This character who you definitely don't want to go... Oh, actually, no, it doesn't matter because you've already got full plate. So this is fine. I would just go double Obsidian Lodestone here. It's wild that this combination of characters puts us too many points over. That's really upsetting. I think you just downgrade the Dark Pegasus to a Dark Steed, and you're happy with that because it still does the same job, but it doesn't make much difference, in my opinion. If you want to keep the Dark Steed... And also you can join the Dark Riders, which is nice. If you want to keep the Dark Speed, you got to drop something. Maybe the Ruby Ring. You could put it on the Blackguard champion here, so maybe that's the way to go. I actually think we just drop this character. I don't think that level 1 sorcerer is going to do very much. So you could go back to the Dark Pegasus here. Ruby Ring of Ruin. Got your Power Scroll. I think that consolidates it more. There's like not a good spell in Dark Magic that you'd be wanting to go for. And then you have 57 points left to spend. And I think Dark Riders have so much value. Something like this, and we just need to drop 6 points somewhere. Something like this. I'm not super worried about the last 6 points, because like I say, I think the idea of the Blackguards is a little, unfortunately, flawed. But, yeah. Why not go Doomfires instead of the level 1? Doomfires are fine. Yeah, they're alright. Is Spell Eater Axe a good pick over a great weapon on a good Dragonlord? It feels like you're throwing the Lord's attacks away. It depends what your use is. So let's say, if we're talking about Chaos Lords on dragons, Chaos Lords have more attacks, so you get more value out of the great weapon. They also have the ability to get to buff up their attacks more with more strength in attacks, so you really want a good weapon for a Chaos Lord or an Exalted Champion. Also, by taking the Great Weapon, in a challenge, you get to attack with the Dragon first, which means if you're in a challenge, with the way that Overkill works now for just initiative steps, you're more likely to get value with your Dragon attacking before your Chaos Lord. However, if you're talking Elves, Great Weapon just makes you initiative 6. It doesn't give you strike last. So you're still having to attack first, at which point your 4 attacks at strength 6 are less valuable than the Chaos Lord's attacks. I'm more willing to give them up, and also we don't have good access to cheap magic resist for most of the elf armies. So taking the Speller Eater Axe along with a shield to get a better armor save is not a bad shout, because you probably weren't going to do much with those attacks anyway. For tournaments, I think a magic weapon is mandatory on the Dragon Lord. Yes, and also that's a very good point. You've got to deal with Ethereal, and it does that. Yeah, cool. So we'll go here for Minkop, and hopefully did I type at the start? Minkop. What time? It was roughly 1:10-ish, I think. 10-ish, like so. Alright, what lists are still coming up? We got some Warriors of Chaos, some Dwarves, some more Bretonnian, some more Warriors of Chaos, some Errantry Crusade, some Khorne Demons, some Host of Taliesin, which is wild, but I appreciate it. Yeah, that's about what we got. Might look at doing that when running my Wood Elves. Wood Elves are the one faction where I wouldn't run, because you can't get to a 3-up armor save because you can't buy full plate. Wood Elves is the only one I wouldn't buy a Spell Eater Axe on, because you may as well just go with Ariel's Favor, the 30-point magic item, go with the Great Weapon, and go for Resplendent Luminescence. It's a little bit more expensive, but you keep your Great Weapon. You've still got you've still got Magic Resist 2 from the Ariel's Favor, and you've got magical attacks. Cool. So next up, we've got... Alright, we got to do this. We got to look at the Phenomenal Badges Host of Taliesin list, and I just don't know where to start with Taliesin. And I don't mean this about his list specifically, but just... I don't know... I want to love it. I want to love it, and I just don't. And that makes me a little bit sad. So, let's find the notes on this one. What was the name? Phenomenal Badger. I think it was a little bit further down. I'm going to take another bite of my sandwich. Here we go. Always loved Wood Elves. Not a huge fan of Wild Riders. That's a shame. They're the best unit they have at the moment, in my opinion. Looking to use Durthu's Wrath to get some big damage off. Fair. Not sure how to best to fill out the core for scoring. Also, do I need some more punch from my characters? Maybe a Glade Lord on Stag. Hard to say. Okay. Triple Stag is more fun than Dragon and Wood Elves. I like Triple Stag. But yeah, it is what it is. So what we've got here. Dryads, I don't hate Dryads, especially because they've got ambushes and you've got unit champions. These are good choices. I like them. Eternal Guard, going 11, so you keep 10 after you lose the unit champion to a challenge. I like this choice. Deepwood Scouts, I like this choice. I don't love Taliesin. I like the choices you've made in the core. Treekin, I wish Treekin was scoring. If you could take one unit of Treekin in core, I'd be so jazzed. I think that would make Taliesin worth looking at. But they're fine. You've just got a wall of meat here, right? Great Eagle, Treeman Ancient, Double Spellweaver, Spellsinger. Okay, so you've just gone heavy on... Okay. Unicorn, Elven Steed. You've got Power Scroll, Earthing Rod, Oaken Stave, Ruby Ring, Lore Familiar. So we're going to put a Power Scroll on this character, even if we have to take it off the level 2. Like, in theory, yes, you want a Power Scroll to cast your spells, but you're less likely to get spells off. Thank you very much for the support. Magic. I'm going to get that wrong. I'm just not going to try, because I will butcher it, and I apologise for that. I feel like it should be Madge Abraham, but I don't know if it runs together like that. I'm just playing it safe today by the sounds of things. I think also you make this a level 4 wizard, so you're more likely to roll into the spells that you want. Oh, no, you've got the level 4 Dream Ancient, of course you have. I think this is fine. I don't think it's good. And that's not super important all of the time. I think I like what you're doing in core. The Treekin are fine. I probably wouldn't run them, but I guess you're bodyguarding them with the Glamberweave's Kindred Spellweaver, which is okay. The Great Eagle is fine as a harasser. It's just, I don't think... You're taking a tier 3 Army of Infamy and you're putting tier 3 units in, I think is the way that I would describe it. And it's hard to see what the path to victory is for this list. But if you're not playing at tournaments, if you're playing this more for local play, if you're just interested in playing against friends, or you have a lower power level, I think this is a really fun list to play. So in that system, which is I hope where you're playing it, I think this works pretty well. And I like the choices you've gone for. So very minor tweaks. I like the loadouts you've gone for your units. Okay. Okie dokie. Let's have a look here. Demons, Khorne demons, Mastodons, Khorne demons. We were talking about this, and I said to you in person that I didn't know what to do about Khorne demons, and I'm afraid I still don't. But we can have a look together. We can see if there's anything that we can do. Spoiler, I don't know that there is. But given that I don't think the club play isn't the highest level of competitiveness, so I think you've got more wriggle room, which is good. Maybe there are some efficiency tweaks we can make. Let me just have a quick look here. Khorne focused demons not sure how to best actually make their full send work with the lack of attacks, etc. Okay, okie dokie. So, what do we got? Bloodthirster, Aether Blade, Collar of... Isn't this for hand weapons only? Yeah, so we can drop this expensive upgrade already, because it only turns off saves for hand weapons, and you've bought it a really nice Great Axe. And I do like the Great Axe, because it's strength AP -3, which means you crack through a decent amount of stuff. Monster Slayer, strength +2. This is a good weapon. The other one I like is the Blood Flail, because you do multiple wounds, and it's really sort of which you value. Prior to the FAQ, I liked the Flail more. Now that we've had the FAQ, I quite like the Great Axe, because AP3 is much more valuable than it was previously. You've gone for Collar of Khorne. You're going from your Magic Resist 2 to Magic Resist 3. Is it overkill? Maybe. Is it worth doing? Maybe. Has a flavour. Give Mr. Bloodthirster a flail. I see. I actually think I like the axe more now. I know you strike last. That's a shame, but it's fine. The things that you're going into are less likely to kill you because they're less tooled up. Saved them from Valentine's. And yeah, absolutely. I don't mind it. 25 points to get up there is pretty decent. We don't need extra strength. We definitely don't need that rubbish. Armour of Khorne is not bad. It gives you an actual 5 at ward save, and it gives you heavy armour. So I do like the Armour of Khorne just to make you a little bit tanky. It's a Khorne list. There's no such thing as overkill. That is very fair. Spell Eater is not awful as well. I don't hate Spell Eater, but you've got actual Tzeentch units in here as well, so there's some value to that. Drop the axe and get a second collar. Magic Resist 4. Magic Resist 4. Bloodladders. So you've gone for... ooh. Have you not put the Great Standard of Sundering? It's not that one. It's Icon of Endless War. Nope. Is it Skull Totem? There we go. The unit gains Furious Charge. Or did you put it on the Blood Crushers? No, I think if we're going for the Brick of Khorne Bloodletters, we want the Furious Charge. They're still not good, but we're leaning into a theme. Tell you what is good. Khorne Furies, Chaos Furies, these things are actually really solid. What does Armour of Khorne do for Bloodthirster and Renegade? I thought it was redundant. Oh, yeah, bloody made-up rules, he said. Sorry, I did forget that you get an actual ward save if you're playing Renegades, which does make them more playable. So you lose the right to pay 40 points for heavy armor. Khorne dogs seem pretty good now. Unit strength 2 each core. Are they unit strength 2? Are they not war beasts? Oh no, they're just straight cavalry. Yeah, they're not bad. They're not bad. So let's actually just scrap off this unit entirely. And this is, if I was building this to be as competitive as possible, this is what I'd do. And feel free to pick or take or leave all of these options. Chaos Furies, these actually do damage. So you have 2 attacks each because of your Furious Charge. You've got AP 1 on your Demonic Talons, which is not bad. It's not as good as it used to be, but it's still not bad. And you are Demon of Khorne, so you get +1 strength. So your strength 5, 2 attacks, AP 1. That's just half decent, and I wouldn't hate 4 units of those, but let's just start with 3, because that gets you above points. You always look at them and think they're a bit expensive. We're talking Furies. Yeah, demons are expensive. If you're playing them with an actual ward save, that makes them a bit more appealing as well. Okay. Then we can go the Blood Crushers. I don't love them, I don't hate them. Let's put the Skull Totem in there. If we're committing, we're committing. We may as well go for the Musician, because this unit might not actually kill enough to get there. I'd also go for a second Skull Cannon. I think they're one of the better units that you can bring. Here, I think I like the ranged output, but we need to scrape some points somewhere. Oh, you like the... I see. You like the Hounds, but you think they're a bit expensive. Yeah, that's fair. Furies are probably better. This Herald, maybe we go down to 3 models here, and we put the Herald on a Juggernaut like so. Collar of Khorne gives you good magic resist, so you're up to magic resist 2 for that unit. And is there anything that we really want? I don't know that we need that. That's so expensive for what it does. I don't know that there's anything that's worth going for. Maybe Icon of Endless War, just for the reroll charges, because you definitely want them to get in, right? Juggernauts are Swift Stride, aren't they? Yes, okay. And they have first charge, so they're actually not awful. So 3 plus a Herald has some utility. How are we still 190 points over? I guess I did go for some expensive upgrades, but man, that's pretty rough. There's a funny amount of anti-magic upgrades you can have in this list. Siege upgrade to reduce magic plus the Khorne banner. Yeah, that's true. That is true. I think we might just have to drop the Flamers. I like them, but I think they're quite expensive for what they do. If we do that, we lose the unit. So you've gone for a level 1 Demonology Wizard, casting at +2. Okay, that's fine. Something has to go. How do demons get this little? This is so sad. Dark Magic is solid, because if you can give a unit Frenzy and, if you can give them Battle Lust, that's a really strong upgrade. So, I like that. I think it just has to be we take out the other Skull Cannon, but I really want a second Skull Cannon in there. How are we 190 points over? Demons is how? Yeah, pretty much. There's just nothing in the list, but, yeah. So now we're 7 points over, so I guess we can't even go down. Man, I hate demons. Man, I hate demons. There's just no good change here. Drop all the Zinch stuff, go full Monogod. I mean, it's already hard enough to play the game. Don't put the poor guy in an even worse spot. I guess we just lose the Musician, and I think we're basically back to where we were. I think there's a couple of very small changes in there, but yeah, I don't know. I'm struggling to be enthused about anything I can do for this list, and I'm sorry about that. To cut out the Siege package and go full tilt aggro. So, in theory, that works. In actuality, the units just don't hit. Look at a Blood Crusher stat line. Look at their goddamn stat line. Or don't, because it doesn't want to load, because it's terrible. Here we go. Weapon skill 5, that's good. Strength 4, that's fine. 1 attack, that is criminal. They do not have any rules here that increase their output, apart from impact hits, but that's only because they're on the Blood Crushers. So the actual Bloodletters have no output. Their weapon is bad. It's just a bad weapon. Strength 4, AP 1, Cleaving Bow. That is not a good weapon. For a model, if you look at the core models here, Bloodletters, 14 points a model, and they get what? Toughness 3, a conditional ward save, assuming we're talking actual legacy rules, good movement and good weapon skill, nothing here that is, like, super exciting. Impetuous. They don't even get an actual bonus to their output. Sure, they get +1 strength for being Khorne, but, like, they don't have any AP. It pisses me off. I'll be frank. I hate Khorne demons. I want them to be good, and they're just not. So yeah, that's about the best I can do for it, I'm afraid. Juggernauts also don't get the plus strength. Yep, that is true. That is true. This sandwich is so dry. Alright. We've got 2 Warriors of Chaos, 1 High Elves, 1 Dwarves, and 1 Bretonnians list. We're going to start off with some Warriors of Chaos. Yeah, no worries, mate. No worries. Sorry I couldn't fix them. I don't know what you can do to fix them. Not playing mono. I think there's interesting stuff in demons. The Tzeentch caster stuff is decent, but it's now limited. And potentially you can go into stuff like Nurgle, I think is maybe interesting, but it's not interesting enough to buy new models, I would say. It's one of the issues with them. Okay. Okay. Where is this list that I'm looking for? So it's above Dazed. I'm looking for Val's list, I believe, here. It's a Warriors of Chaos. List for an upcoming event. Main idea is Doom Banner plus Dark Majesty, which is -2 to Terror break tests. Can be comboed with Gathering Darkness for -4. Chimera is a cheapish second Terror Causer. Sorcerer goes with the Knights for +1 to cast. Demonic Vessel to buff the Knights as well. So, got a Sorcerer Lord on a steed. What's the first Terror Causer? Oh, it's an unridden Chimera. Or it's just a Chimera, actually. I'm thinking of Manticores. That's a bit rough. I don't love that. I don't think I'd be paying for the... Oh, no, it's extra attacks. 10 points? Yeah, that is worthwhile. What am I talking about? Regen's nice. It's T5. 4 wounds at T5. 205 points. That's so expensive for what you get. That is so expensive. What do you click on to send a list in for next time on the Old World site? So if you go to the Discord, the link is down below. If you go to the Discord linked in the channel, there's a channel called Fix My List. I put out an announcement on either Thursday evenings or Friday mornings, and I open up the submissions for the lists. And anyone who hasn't had their list gets higher priority. Looked at in the last video, gets their list looked at in a higher priority, and channel members get a higher priority as well. So given that you're a channel member, as long as you submit your list before cutoff go in, you're almost guaranteed to get in. I've never had 16 members submit a list before, so just make sure you submit one next Friday, which I'm travelling back from my brother's wedding on next Friday, so I'm not 100% sure if I'll be able to do the stream next Friday, but I am looking at logistics because I'd like to not miss another one. So, okay. We've got a Demonology Caster, level 3, Chaos Steed, Power Scrolls, Lore Familiar. Good. Yeah, this is a good loadout. Tzeentch is fine, but I do worry about running away. I guess there's a BSB in this list, so you can get away with it. Okay, so you're getting the plus to cast here with the Chaos Knights, Icon of Darkness. Okay, that's fine. Marauder Horseman. Champ Musician, Flails, Light Armor, Javelins. This is a very expensive unit in terms of, I think there's too many upgrades in it, but it is still only 100 points for 6 models. I guess it's not too bad. Dragon Ogre's fine. Warhounds are good. Warriors, I like this loadout, where you go halberds. I like it more with Slaanesh, because then you can combo with a character that makes everyone that attacks you for strikes last, so they're only initiative 4 in the charge and you're initiative 5. But as a standard, just going for it, I like this. I would give them a Charm Shield as well. Just really good to have on unit champions. I don't know that we need to bother with these ones. This Manticore, Doom Token, it's so expensive. I like the theme you're going for. But, yeah, so your T4, so the Manticore only puts you at T4 as well, right? Oof. I mean, it's a lot of wounds. It's 8 wounds, but still, that is concerning. What is the job for the 5 Warhounds? Warhounds are the best unit you can put in any Warriors of Chaos list. So if you haven't used them, you take 5, you give them Vanguard, you put them in marching column, 1 wide, and you just march them. you know, vanguard them 7 inches forwards, and then you march them around the board, you redirect with them, you frenzy bait, you block movement. They're really, really solid. I like 2 units in every Warriors of Chaos list I run, but you don't always have points for them. I don't like flails. I don't think a flail is the way to go here. Okay, in this case, I think we drop 1 Favour of the Gods and we go for the Talisman of the Carrion Crow. I think poison's just quite nice to have, and it's better than a single extra Favour of the Gods. Dark Majesty for -1 to Terror is... I mean, it's a vibe. I like that you're going for it. I don't like it, but I like that you're going for it. I think I'd just go Great Weapon here instead of the Flail. I'm not super worried about striking last into the things that I'm going to choose to charge into, so it's probably fine. Sorcerer Lord was good. Yeah, in terms of the list, I don't love the Chimera. I'd be more tempted to replace it for like a Warpfire Dragon, but that's a lot of points. But the Warpfire Dragon's a lot tankier, and it comes with Magic Resist 2 built in. So I'd maybe be tempted to cut that to make it work, but if you're not willing to do that, then the Chimera is an overpriced stand-in. Yeah, I think the list concept is interesting. I worry that you're going to come up against Undead and find that all of the sacrifices you've made to put the you know, -2 to leadership stuff in isn't going to do enough against unbreakable units, but I think it's cool. I like the vibe. So let's go, I mean, probably just 22. And then we need to fill up another few points here. At which point we could probably just give this unit... Oh, hold on. Woo! We haven't got Magic Resist on here. I know you get Magic Resist 1 for Marcus Inch. But I'm still pretty willing to put that on there. Roll the Horsemen, we'll drop the Flails down to Camp Spears, and we'll drop the Javelins. I think realistically they just don't end up using either of them. But if you do use them, feel free to put them back on. I just find that my Roll the Horsemen do a lot of hiding, do a bit of scoring, don't do a lot else. So this was for @Val. A lot of Vals on the Discord now. Okay, what do we got? What do we got? We got Bretts, another Warriors of Chaos, High Elves, and Dwarves. First person to name one of those armies, I will go to that army. Give me what you want to hear. Dwarves, Warriors of Chaos, High Elves, or Bretonnia. And it's Errantry Crusade Bretonnia with Foot Knights, which is cool. It's not the bad touch Bretonnia we're all used to. High Elves? Alright, Mascadon, you're straight in. Tell you what, we'll do it in that order, though. The 3 of you who commented. Oh, hey! Unfortunately, Richard, you were slow off the press, so you'll be 4th. But we'll do the other 3, and we'll get there. Alright. Warriors of Chaos. Boom. I don't know if it is your list, Cthulhu, unfortunately. I think you might have missed the cutoff just in terms of time. This is Wrath's list. It's a really nice problem to have, but I keep having sort of 20 to 22 lists submitted. I can only apologise for not getting to everyone's. I've been thinking about doing another stream in the week, but I'm already kind of at capacity of what I'm able to deal with, so it might be something that I pick up after Mela. But yeah, so we've got the Wrath's Warrior of Chaos list, but we started off with High Elves, so I did say we were going to do High Elves. Let's have a look here. Days list. The plan is to use the Lothern Sea Guard to clear chaff, King of the Hill to score points, Phoenix Guard to hold up other infantry and bunker the Archmage, Dragon and Griffin work together to flank and Reavers for War Machine hunting, considering dropping the Phoenix Guard and putting in faster stuff. So that would be my advice. Oh, that's kind of to say, Mr. Cthulhu. So my advice would be we drop the Phoenix Guard straight away. I love them, I want them to work, but because they're not scoring, I really just struggle to fit them in. So, here, we've got a Prince, you've got Halberd, Shield, Star Dragon, Armour of Calidor, Opal, Amulet, Seed of Rebirth, Pure of Heart. I think this is a pretty good loadout. Halberd's fine. Maybe you go cavalry spear, so you can keep the shield, but it's, you know, it's whatever version you prefer to go to. Slightly worse armor save, slightly better output, or vice versa. Archmage, Warbow, so we've gone Seaguard, along with Cloak of Beards to give them terror, Lore Familiar, Battle Magic, and then a level 3 Wizard. So this is fine. This gives you Curse of Arrow Attraction, it gives you Oaken Shield, and then probably Fireball as well, or Arcane Urgency. So not a bad loadout. The Noble itself, BSB, but not a standard, because there's no points. Great Weapon, Full Plate, Dragon Helm, Opal Amulet, Seed of Rebirth. I would, the change that I'd make here is I'd drop the Dragon Helm, I'd drop the Opal Amulet, I'd just go for a Talisman of Protection. You lose the once per game 2-up, but oops, that's a Lore Familiar. That is the wrong item. Where's it gone? Talisman of Protection. Yeah, you lose the, like, protection against Monster Slayer. So if all you play against is Bretonnians or, like, cannons that do D3+1 wounds, then maybe you need this. But I value the always-on 5-up a lot higher than a single 2-up ward. Arcane for sure. Arcane Urgency is good. Yeah, that is good. Hey, oh, you're here. Fantastic. So, I don't know how much of my elf rant you heard earlier, but I was just talking about how I just don't see a place for non-core infantry bricks that take a lot of points, unfortunately. So. I like the core. I think this is fine. Lawmaster's Cloak, Razor Standard Musician. I like Magic Resist more than I like the Ward Save against Magic Missiles now, but I think I like the Ward Save better than I like Magic Resist 1, so I think this is absolutely fine. Reavers with a Ring of Fury, really good to partner up with the Prince if they need to, and then I would go something like, you mentioned Dragon Princes and what should we call them? Dragon Princes and the Chariots, and I think those are both really good shouts. That is exactly where I'd go. So something like a unit of 7 to 8 Dragon Princes with 2 Obsidian Lodestones, Rampaging Banner, full command, and then a couple of Lothan Skycutters, no upgrades. Where does that put us? 32 points over. Down to 6. Something like this works pretty well, and we can give this unit champion a Charmed Shield. Something like this, I think, works quite well. You just love Phoenix Guard, breaks my heart, they're still super competitive. Yeah, me too. I really wanted to run them. They're the only unit that can run the Banner of Resilience without having to take a Battle Standard Bearer, and that lets you take the Prince Noble combo, where you've got the 2 models like this. So it really bums me out as well that you can't do it. Yeah, I'm not happy about that, and also I'm looking rare. They're not even rare, they're special. So the fact that you can take a Magic Standard so expensive, I really, really value. And the models are great. I like them. But I think I would go more down this line. The split between Dragon Princes and Skycutters is entirely up to you. Maybe you just go more Dragon Princes. Like, drop 1 Skycutter. In fact, I like 2s of things, but I think 6 is too low for this level of investment. So maybe we go 8, and then you go the Bolt Throwers as well. Bolt Throwers too many points. I'm going to link the version that I put in, but the general premise of sort of play around with what you want to do with the other points for rare stands. Your suggestion of Dragon Princes and Skycutters is exactly where I'd go. But yeah, I didn't need to tweak very much in here. In fact, I don't think I tweaked anything apart from completely removing your favourite unit, so I apologise for my actions. I do apologise for my actions. Dragon Princes now with self-control. Yeah, I think Dragon Princes are pretty decent. I worry about them a little bit. And you can't fit it in this list, but if I'm running Dragon Princes, I really like a Stormweaver, level 3. Unicorn or Foot, but probably on a Unicorn. Dark Magic for Battle Lust. Lore Familiar. 2 Power Scrolls. It comes to 250 points. It does not fit in this list, so we can't even make that swap. But it really supercharges them. And also, the fact that they're only Strength 5 does not matter too much, because you can hit someone with Word of Pain. Getting them -1 toughness makes you effectively Strength 6. I like playing fast and hard with DP and Star. Yeah, I think it's a good combo. I think there's stuff to be excited about in High Elves. I think there's definitely good stuff in there. Alrighty then, I think it was Dwarves was the next one, and this was Slayer, who I think I was meant to play twice, and we just haven't actually managed to make it work. Once in a tournament and once outside, or maybe we did play in the tournament. It's been a long year since SBOT 1 and 2. A long, long time. But there are some things that I've changed. So this is Royal Clan, and I think Royal Clan's great, but I don't like this small unit of hammerers. I don't think that this small unit of hammerers does anything. So either they go big or they go home, and because they don't score core, I'm going to cut them. I'm just going to be quite ruthless with the cuts in this list, because I think you probably want to focus more heavily into the core. The Rangers, while they're not core, I don't dislike them. I think they're fine. I'm going to go down to 14, because you're probably going to go 2 ranks of 7 or skirmish, and you're just going to have them to be a decent crossbow unit for a couple of 100 points. And with that in mind, I really like the Iron Drakes as well. So maybe we go something like 8, and we go 2 units of 8, because I think having ranged pressure in this list is really solid. Core, we've got... Single grudge thrower doesn't do a lot. I'd like a second one, but we do struggle on points a little bit. Longbeards seems like they have a lot of rules and stat for their points too. I really like Longbeards. I really like Longbeards. So the general you've got here is a Thane. It's the shooting Thane. This model's great. I love it. Then you've got this Thane here, the Battle Standard Bearer, which you've made like a pseudo tank. Or not pseudo, just an actual tank. So your preservation, so you're immune to killing blow and multiple wounds. Grumble for a 2-up save. Rune of Fury for an extra attack. And then you've got a great weapon. You're on the shield bearers, and you've got the Master Rune of Grogny, which gives you a 5-up ward save for your unit. I'd also go Rune of Battle. Let's get some more combat res in there, and let's bump this unit up a little bit as well. I don't think we go Master Rune of Hesitation. I think you want people to charge you, so we're just going to put this unit here, Rune of Battle, and then also potentially... is it Rune of Courage? Yes, we definitely want Rune of Courage in the list. You do not want to lose units to Terror Test. I've done it to like 1,000 points worth of models. So we'll go up to 18 here, and they've got the BSB in there, and then the other characters can sort of play as and when. These Royal Clan Warriors, I think, are fine. They don't need a lot of support. So we've got a single Rune of Battle here, which is fine because we haven't overlapped in any way that matters. So this is a unit that's just going to sit in a 4x4 brick and just hold objectives. It doesn't need support, but we'll probably put at least one character in. So let's go down to 15 and shave some points there. Okay, the things I don't like. I don't like your setup here for the Rune Lord. You've gone for a pseudo fighty character, but I don't think that that's really necessary or particularly useful. It does give magic resist 2. So what I'd be tempted to do is, if you're looking for a Rune Lord for Dispel, you take the output you've put here, the Master Rune of Calm and the Rune of Spell Breaking, like so. We take off the actual combat runes. You just go Hand Weapon Shield, keeping them safe, that's fine. And then the Runesmith can go super cheap. We don't have to give him either of those, or maybe we give him a Rune of Spell Breaking, because we're going to put that in both units, and that means that both of our combat units here have magic resist 2 and have actual defense against melee, not melee, against shooting. Magic. It is getting brain. Me and brain, no good. I will put a second grudge throw in here, because I think 1's not going to do a lot, 2 will do something more consistently, and that just leaves us 15 points over, and then all we need to do is tweak. I guess we drop a Longbeard, and that gets us very comfortably to 2,000 points. And I think it does the same thing that you were aiming for, but it's just a little bit more focused, so you haven't got a small unit of hammerers. You're less protected, so they can charge the Longbeards, but that's okay, in my opinion, because it means that you actually get some value out of them. If they were too well defended, no one would charge into them, and if people do charge you, you'll find that actually Longbeards will just brush off a charge with impunity, which is disgusting and very, very good, obviously. No T10 King, now poison is bad. Well, poison doesn't matter because you're in a unit, so it was always poison shooting that was the problem for just anything that wanted to survive. Yeah, and you couldn't be picked out with the shooting. So I always felt like T10 was more of a meme, but you can do it, and I did recommend you do it for like a secondary character if you want a real tanky badass king in Royal Host. Next up, we had Wrath's Warriors of Chaos. This was an interesting list, and I can't remember if Wrath had typed anything to go with it, so I'm just going to quickly skim up and see if I can see it. I think I may have gone too far. I've gone too far. Let's have a look here. I need a better system. I don't know what the better system is, but I need a better system. Oh, I think I got it. Here we go. The answer is always more dragons, is the name of the list, and there is no context given. But that's okay, because it's a 3-dragon list, and I love that for him. If the answer is not more dragons, then the question is not worth answering. Ah, that's you. Yeah. Sorry, it took me, like, as you typed it, my brain caught up, and I was like, oh, yes, no, I get it. You've done some things in here that I really like. So, let me go through. Dragon Ogre Shartak, Black and Paint. I think that just goes. I think it was good before. I don't see a role for it. Everything else is pretty solid. Like, some choices I really like. Warpfire Dragon, level 1 wizard. Warpfire Dragons are so good now. They're a dragon that can't be challenged out. They have 6 attacks at strength 6 at... 5 attacks at strength 6. AP 2, weapon skill 6. They've still got the D6 stomps. Their magic resist 2. They're still fly 10. They have a 5-up regen. They've got a conditional ward save. They've got a stone thrower. Warpfire Dragons are disgusting. They are absolutely something you should take every day of the week. Battle Magic is the way to go. If you roll Oaken Shield, you're laughing. If you don't roll Oaken Shield, just go hand to hand. Okay, so then we've got dragons here. You've got an Exalted Champion with Mark and Nurgle, and this is the same for both of them. Great weapon, and then we've got some items. Both of them have a single Favour of the Gods and a Brazen Collar, and then they both have one of the 2 talismans that give regen. The general has the poison attacks, the other one doesn't have poison attacks. You've got points. Let's just give both of them an additional Favour of the Gods. Let's go 2 on both of them. I think you burn through 1 very quickly, and if you roll 1 on turn 1, it's very punishing in terms of you don't feel comfortable on turn 2 getting a second stupidity roll. That's really rough. So let's just go for a second one. We've got the points for it. This unit here, these Marauders, for 15 strong, 137 points, full command, hand weapon, light armor, shield, Mark of Undivided. This gives you rerolls to Fear, Panic, and Terror. This is just good. This is just a solid unit. It comes with Shield Wall. I think Warriors of Chaos players are sleeping on this unit. This is a good sit in my backfield and hold just the line unit. I'm going to go up to 16 because they are, let me just double check. They are heavy infantry, aren't they? Or are they light infantry? Regular infantry. Okay. Maybe you want to go up to 20 so that you've got 5x4. And that gives you just a little bit more sticking power. But, yeah, I like them in general. No Chaos Warriors. Chaos Warriors are fine. I've definitely... They regen their own misfire. Yes, they do regen their own misfire on the Warpfire Dragon. They seem like they've taken full advantage of the new balance. They're real good. Yeah, I like Warriors, but I think they're very expensive for what they do, so we don't have to bring them. But this is just a good brick, and like putting up to 180 points, you can put this on an objective and just kind of leave it to its own devices. And if it's a side objective, it might just score you 240 points over the course of the game and not be interacted with, or more points. You know, if you sit on 1, you can get 360 max. So realistically, 300 to 330. This is good. Undivided Chaos Knights, full command, Brazen Collar, always a Charmed Shield, in my opinion. Just makes you a bit more consistent. These Warhounds, always give them Vanguard. Just get them up the field, always start them in marching column, use them as move blockers. These Marauder Horsemen are interesting. They're fast and they will go out and score objectives, which I do like. 9 feels like a lot, and you've given them throwing axes, which is fine. I definitely give them Cav Spears as well, but I don't hate them. I think they're absolutely fine. And the question just becomes, what do we do with the last of the points? I think Warriors of Chaos are an army that are very happy to go heavy into points. Basically, anything that's not a Warpfire Dragon or characters, I'm super happy to put into points. And I think the easy way to do that is just go 1 more Chaos Knight like so, and then I think the points get a little squiffy. It's hard to put anything else in that's super valuable. So, is there anything here that's worth looking at? I don't know that there is. I hate to leave you 5 points short, so maybe we just go another Favour of the Gods here. That feels like it might be the best upgrade. Like the Chaos Warriors with hand weapon, shield, collar, razor standard. Ooh, interesting. Taskmaster's Scourge is really good. I played them this weekend, just gone. Yeah, I think they're a really solid unit to have. I'm slipping forward to my chair. I've been thinking about... So, hold on. Let me just link this one, because I think this list is good. I like what you've gone for. I've made the minorest of minor tweaks, and you are ready to go. Because this is a good list for scoring, good list for pressure. Double Dragons. What I have been playing around with, just to very quickly sketch it out, is a unit of something like 20 Chaos Warriors, full command. I like giving them the Icon of Darkness, but it's kind of up to you, whatever you want to go for. I give them halberds, give them shields, give them Marcus Lanesh, and then you combo them with a Sorcerer Lord, who is level 3, doesn't have to have a mark. They're going Demonology, and we're going Power Scroll, times 2, Lore Familiar. 265 points, 378 points. It's not cheap. It comes in at like 630-ish points, give or take. But this unit will march 20 inches forwards, 24 inches, because you're going to use Steed of Shadows on them. You're going to take the charge. You've got a lot of static combat res. You can go War Banner here as well. That's very good. You've got hand weapon shield, so you've got a 3-up armor save. You're fighting in 2 ranks with strength 4, AP 1, so you're going to do some decent damage back. As long as you pick where you land, which of course you do, and you move 24 inches, you probably win the combat. Then your opponent runs away. You then pursue. Pursue counts as a charge, so you get the bonus for your halberds, which means that you go up to strength 5, AP -2, armor bane 1. You combo that with the Sorcerer Lord, who's going with Demonology, and you go with... Oh, I've missed an upgrade, but we'll get back to that in a second. Demonic Missile, which gives them +1 strength, AP, and attacks. So each model has 2 attacks at strength 6, AP 3, armor bane 1, which is just nasty. The thing that makes it work, and the reason we went Marcus Lanesh, is we went for... Is it Diabolic Splendor? I always get these two wrong. Nope, it's the other one. Enchanting Aura. So, enemy units cannot use strike first and become strike last. So, anyone charges you, they become initiative 1. They get +3 initiative for charging, so they are initiative 4. This unit starts at initiative 4, and they've got the Marcus Lanesh, which gives them +1 on the first round of combat, and they're immune to panic, which is one of my big worries about marking a unit. So, it's a gimmick, but it's a hell of a gimmick. It's about 650, 700 points, actually, if you think about it all told. But you're hitting your opponent first with hand weapon shield, you're tanking their output, and then in the next round of combat, when you beat them, you get to follow up with halberds, cast the spell Demonic Vessel, and just absolutely crating through them. Those poor Black Orcs had a bad day, if I remember. Yeah, boy. That was more multi-charging, but it was good. Oh, and also Taskmaster's Scourge goes in that character. So yeah, it's a lot of points that you invest in, but it's in my opinion, it's worthwhile. All right, Alvis Thunderkeg, Errantry Crusade. Let's have a look. And I really like Errantry Crusade, and you are aware of the issue with your list, in that Grail Knights don't get Veteran, but they do get Impetuous. So that sucks. That's a real shame. And you said here, you understand that the Grail Knights won't get Veterans, so your open idea is to go in a different direction, trying to make a general list that will do all right in missions and open battle. So, you've got Knights of the Realm on foot. I'm a big fan of that. Grail Knights, we're just going to take them out. Unit of 5 with the Banner of Lady's Grace to make them immune to leadership. I think this just isn't an efficient unit. They are T4, but they're only a 3-up armor save, and they're a single wound per for 38 points. I think you have to go big or go home with Grail Knights, and I don't think Errantry Crusade is the place to go for them. So we'll take them out, and potentially you could put them in for a Grand Army. These Pegasus Knights, you absolutely want a Standard Bearer and a unit champion. Sometimes you've just got to soak challenges with the first knight, and also Standard Bearer means you can take Banner of Shalons. Very nice stuff there. Grail Knight should still have 2-up armor save. I'd be okay with that. Even though Bretonnian's identity in this edition is 3-up armor saves, I would be okay with Grail Knights just having a bit more heft. People talk about a second wound, but I worry about stat creep if we go down those lines. Yeah, so these Peg Knights, we're going to go with the Banner of Shalons. It's just the auto-take if you've got Pegasus Knights. Then you've got the Rampaging Banner, Great Weapon, Hand Weapon Shield, Crusader Vow, Impetuous Knight. This is great. So this is the thing that gives you plus D3 and plus 3 charge range. So you combo that with errantry, which means that you're getting plus 4 to your declarable charge range for this unit. So your infantry unit can declare 14 inches, and they can charge... They probably won't make 14, but you get a reroll on the rampaging banner. So it's pretty consistent in terms of getting up there with higher charges. I really like what you've got here. This is a solid unit. You've got the Banner of Honourable Warfare here. I think that's fine. I'd say just go with War Banner. Gun lines, you know, ranged weapons aren't typically on the front lines, and this unit will only hit stuff at the front lines. So I think we can just go with War Banner. You can go Great Weapons. I know you've got Furious Charge. I'd just go Hand Weapon Shields, but I'll leave them on because it's to personal taste. And it's 36 points, which is expensive, but it's not the end of the world. Damsel level 1 Illusion to go with them. Excellent choice. Gives them Magic Resist 2, gives them Glittering Robes. Fantastic stuff. This Duke. Lance, Heavy Armor Shield, Royal Peg, Virtue of Heriton. Great so far. Anointed Armor. Hate it. Absolutely hate it. In my opinion, if you want to go for a defensive item on this character, you either go Grommel Greathelm and Syrian's Locket, which gives you immune to multiple wounds. It doesn't give you immune to Killing Blow, but that doesn't come up all that often. And then obviously this gives you up to a 2-up armor save and you reroll 1s. Or you keep the Syrian's Locket and you go for the Gilded Cuirass. Now, this gives you a 5-up regen. Is triple save better than going for the Grommel Greathelm? Individually, I think it is. I think it's worth the points. But you have got Lady Elise in this unit, and she can pick 2 spells from the Lore of the Lady. So we're just going to say you're probably not needing a regen, but it is something for people to think about if they're playing other lists. 2 units of Knight Errant with just with full command here, and Crusader's Vow. It should have had that on there. I just didn't click it. And then 6 Knights of the Realm as well. I think I'd be tempted to drop these Knights of the Realm and just buff this unit up. Really make it, you know, worth having as a Death Star. I don't know if I want to go 28. Something like 24 feels about right. At which point we need a few more models. Maybe something like Squires is a good drop to put in. And this is good protection against enemy Green Knights. You could go 10 with Scouts, so it's a scoring unit. It is kind of expensive, but I think it's worth putting in. And you put a unit champion as well. You can go Fire and Flee. It's kind of whatever. So maybe we drop... Oh, we don't even need to drop anything here. You're good with Grommel and Syrian's Locket for sure. Hell yeah. So, like, something like this, I think, is a slightly better version, because you've got more commitment into the Knights of the Realm. They're harder to shift, and then the Knights Errant still do their thing. Still get the rerolls from characters, and the Squires are just there to fill points, and also be Green Knight blocking, movement blocking, an early drop, all of that good stuff. That kind of leaves us with some points to fill. You've got 200 and change. Now, what I would do is I'd make some points for an extra character. That would be the obvious thing. I think... I don't... right, so if we go down, not Questing Knights. More Pegasus Knights are fine, but you don't have extra characters put in them. Not Battle Pilgrims, Men-at-Arms, or Bowmen. None of those make sense. Rare units, you could go with the Trebuchets. The Grail Knights, I think, not in this list, and the Mounted Yeomen not in this list. Which then leaves us with more core or more characters. And I'd be tempted to go... And we do have to sacrifice Lady Elise here, who's nice, but I'm less in love with her than I think most Bretonnian players are. Something like an Illusion Caster that goes Prayer Icon of Quenelles, or Battle Magic, for example, Prayer Icon of Quenelles, where you're just rolling your spells and you're going to give one of the units, you know, you're going to give this unit here. In fact, yeah, no, that makes sense. Sorry, my brain turned off for a second. You probably want to give the regen to the Knights of the Realm on foot. That's the Bane thing. It's fine. And that leaves you 252 points, which means you can start to squeak in and go with, for example, a Baron, and, you know, just the Baron that we all know and I'm going to say love. If you are avoiding this character for a reason, such as you're bored of playing the same characters every time, that's super fair. You can drop it. But I think we could squeak 65 points here. How would we do that? Maybe you just go, you drop the Damsel. The Prophetess just becomes Illusion and sits in the unit and conditionally either goes Glittering Robes or goes for, you know, the regen, depending on what's going to be more effective in the matchup. and then you could put 35 points. Could drop something here, put an extra peg knight in, something like this. You know, this is how about adding Cecil to the foot knights instead of... Cecil's not a bad shout. I have looked at Cecil. So let's go back to where we were. Let's put this back on a Bretonnian warhorse in case we want to join a unit. Let's put the damsel back in, level 1 illusion, and then Sir Cecil. And he's interesting. He's definitely interesting. He's okay. For anyone who hasn't seen this guy, he is a Baron stat line, so weapon skill 7, so 1 higher, sorry, than a normal Baron. Comes with the normal 4 attacks, got 3 wounds, so pretty normal there. Strength and toughness 4. Is equipped with Sorrow's End, which is a weird weapon, in that it is strength plus 1, AP minus 1, multiple wounds 2, and monster slayer. So it's conditionally decent, but he can't tank a dragon, so you kind of have to soak the dragon on a unit champion and then fight it the next round. It's an odd setup. You've got heavy armor shield, and you've got the dragon hide cloak, so you've only got a 4-up armor save, and you remove up to 2 AP on enemy weapons there. So I guess you could, if you wanted to, just use your normal hand weapon, because I think... Is he equipped with a hand weapon? No, he's not. Okay, never mind. He's a 4-up armor save that ignores the first 2 points of armor pen, and he's got immune to killing blow and multiple wounds, and he's then got the Worm Slayer, which means if he kills something big, even monstrous infantry or cavalry, so it's not unlikely, he gets terror for the rest of the game. So he's an interesting character. He also has the Exiles Vow, which gives him veteran, which means even though he's a special character in Errantry Crusade, he gets veteran through having that. I'm pretty sure Stubborn needs the unit to have it. Yeah, it doesn't get imparted from a character. So, what happened? Oh, I somehow removed the Pegasus Knights. That was not deliberate. Let's just go back to Banner Echelons. There we go. So that puts us at 1850. And then, oh yeah, I think we just, from this point, just buff up the Knights of the Realm a little bit more. So we could go back up to, let's say, 24, and then I'd be tempted to go, because obviously you're praying for the blessing, I'd be tempted to go for something like another unit of Squires. They are expensive for what they do, but they are scoring, and, you know, we've got the points to put them in. So theoretically, 2 units of 12 with a unit champion, and this is just like half-decent backline scoring. That is way more expensive than it probably should be, but you can't get normal peasant bowmen. So, yeah, it's got Vanguard as well. You've paid to give them scouts. Maybe only 1 unit needs scouts, probably not both of them. Although you may as well pay for both of them, because you're not going first anyway. So something like this, I think, is probably the direction I'd go. As always, the last couple of points are very much subject to taste. I don't have strong feelings about the last few points that we could put in there. And Alvis Thundercake. That puts in like so. Cecil into Foot Knights was a good shout. I had forgotten he existed for a second. But yeah, that takes us to the end of Fix My List. It has been a busy couple of weeks. Like I say, I've got a wedding to go to next weekend. Hopefully it's not too warm, but it's up in the northeast, so it shouldn't be anywhere near as oppressively hot as I have been for the last... as long as I remember. It feels like such a long time. But, yeah, so... I'm hoping it'll be a little bit cooler. It'd be nice to be away for a few days, but I'm going to stress out. I'm going to try and pre-record a couple of bits. I say a couple of bits, maybe one piece of content to go up on the Thursday, which is the day of the wedding, and then I will just have to deal with not putting stuff up other than that. But yeah, that is it for me. There'll be a video coming up tomorrow lunchtime-ish talking about the new reveals. There'll be a stream coming on Tuesday, and hopefully there should be a video coming to you on Thursday, and then we'll be just back into the normal swing of things. So